Episode 9, Winx Believix. We left off in the last episode where the Winx Specialists and Roxy were fighting against the wizards. Thanks to Roxy's newfound trust in the Winx, it was strong enough to finally transform them into Believix fairies. Gatlos asked Oberon what they should do, which Oberon promised that they should continue to attack and soon charge. Confident now with the newfound powers, the Winx decided to give it a test and begin attacking the wizards directly, which is seen taking effect, though it doesn't seem as strong as they interpret it to be. The Winx, alongside the Specialists, surrounded the wizards. Noticing that they're outnumbered and the Believix powers affecting them, Oberon told the wizards they need to retreat and disappeared. The girls then thanked the guys for being there as well as Roxy for having trust in them. Mitzy says that she still can't believe they're finally Believix fairies, followed by Flora saying that it was like all the forces of nature began to blend as one while transforming. Stella then says how their outfits reminded her of their magic Winx forms, though a bit with more details and color, and the wings like their enchantix. She does, however, feels conflicted about the form. She doesn't quite hate it, but she doesn't exactly love it either. But it's something that she and the others will grow accustomed to over time. Tekna says that she doesn't mind her form at all. Stella admits that Tekna's Believix is one of the best looking out of all of them, saying it looked like her magic Winx and enchantix mixed perfectly and praised her for it, which got Tekna blushing. Bloom says what matters now is that they achieved the Believix level and now have a better stance against the wizards, and they all turn towards Roxy and thanked her once again. Roxy then thanked all of them for what they've done for her. She said that she still isn't too sure about this, but perhaps she'll take it one step at a time. They decided to call it a night and all headed to their homes. The next day, the Winx reported to Faragonda in the Company of Light of what occurred last night, and said that through Roxy having faith in them, they finally obtained their Believix powers. Faragonda expressed how proud she is of the girls finally becoming Believix fairies. Mitzy speaks of how she doesn't understand how the Believix powers, though effective, doesn't feel as powerful as they interpret to be against the wizards. Hagen says that for what they told them, Roxy hasn't fully trusted them. She's still plagued with self-doubt and pessimism towards herself and to them. Tekna is seen having difficulties grasping this, saying that it sounds also irrational. But Faragonda further explained to Tekna that belief, trust, and or faith isn't rooted in facts and logical observations, but from the heart. It stems from feelings. She also adds that one person alone isn't enough to make the Believix powers effective. The more people have faith in fairies, the stronger the Believix powers will get. This is what makes obtaining Believix nearly impossible and very rare. Griffin advised that they must continue to earn Roxy's trust and friendship, as well as using the fairy pets to get the Earthlings to be around magic in a manageable way. Selwyn followed, saying that now that the girls have achieved their Believix powers, they will consult with Councilman Balazar on what to do for the next steps. This does lead a lot of the girls, especially Stella, to be a bit frustrated because they feel like it's an impossible task. Faragonda empathized with their frustration, for it will be their toughest mission yet. But she said that she and the Company of Light have full confidence in them succeeding, and reminded girls of what they accomplished so far. They created fairy pets for humans to be around magic in a magical way, opened a magic pet shop, found the last Earth fairy, and now they became Believix fairies, and said that they will soon have more challenges along the way, but they will succeed. For now, their priority is to defend Roxy, and as well as continue with her training. Before the Company of Light began to log out, Mitzy asked if they could provide some security and magical protection for both their shop and the fairy pets. After the wizards broke into their shop and crippled the fairy pets, she's afraid of it happening again. Flora seconded this, believing that the wizards caught on to what they were doing with the pets, trying to corrupt them to sabotage their mission. Saladin says that the others will consult this with Balazar and will notify them as soon as possible. The professors began to log out and the girls prepared to open Love and Pet. Gardenia sped up to the evening, and we saw Roxy walking home with R2 and her two fairy pets. Unknown to her, the wizards were spying to capture her alone. They broke inside and began their search. R2 of course sensed them and growled aggressively, while her two fairy pets cowered behind her. This alerted Roxy immediately that an intruder broke in. As she approached the door, she heard Dumon's voice and immediately picked up the phone to call Bloom about the situation. Datlos then broke into her room and Oberon told Anakin to grab her, but as soon as he did, the white magic surrounded Roxy again, resulting in Anakin being burned and pushed out the room, screaming in agony. Oberon states to Roxy that one way or another, they will absorb her into the black circle. As he began to approach her, Roxy summoned another magical blast that Oberon quickly absorbed, which led him to laugh, saying that she didn't learn anything. Then suddenly, all of Roxy's clothes began to swirl around, and heard Stella's voice indicating that the Winx arrived from the new Believix farms, which left the wizards confused, for it isn't possible, only for Roxy to respond to, "Ever heard of cell phones?" and began to jump out the window with Archie and her pets, but Bloom used her powers to levitate them, and the wizard chased after them. Stella summoned her scepter to teleport them away to an unknown place, causing Oberon to scream in frustration. The girls soon transported and landed to a nearby rooftop, where Aisha told the girls that she loved to stay but is late with her date with Nabu and bids them farewell. Stella reminded Aisha that they have plans on going out tonight with all 6 of them, which Aisha forgot and apologized to Stella and will make a rain check for them next. Stella felt annoyed that ever since they came to Earth, Aisha constantly hangs with Nabu more than with them. Flormuse and Tekna spoke, saying that they should be happy for her. Stella said that she is more than anything, but aside from their work and mission, they don't seem to have quality time with each other like they used to. The girls shared their sentiment, but told her that they will have time eventually, but they have more responsibilities now than they once did. After their conversation, they continue to train Roxy with more basic spells, to which Roxy is still having difficulties controlling. During the conversation, Tekna is still trying to figure out how to get people to believe in magic after the Company of Light and speak with Councilman Balazar in the next steps. Aside from Bloom, the other girls do express how frustrating and complicated humans of Earth are. They actually are the ones from the magic dimension. Both Bloom and Roxy share their experience living with humans and explain that despite most being good, humans are inherently selfish and take things for granted. Flora responded that people here on Earth are so different, nothing like her people back in Lynthea. This does pique Roxy's interest a bit and asks what Lynthea is. Flora explained to Roxy about her home planet, as well as the planet Magix where the Winx met, and explained the 3 schools and Magic Sea. Roxy finds this so unreal that other magical creatures she thought were merely fiction are indeed real every time they tell her. Even more crazy is that they have various planets that she says it feels very sci-fi as well. The following scene over, we see Aisha and Nabu taking a night stroll after their date, as they did in the original. Just for the record, Nabu did not propose to Aisha in this episode. She expressed how frustrating this mission is, along with protecting and training Roxy, and the fight against the wizards, for they never face an enemy like them, thinking there's gotta be a solution until they're magically strong enough to defeat them. They stopped and thought about it until they both had the same idea. Nabu called the guys and asked Aisha to not tell the girls that this will be a surprise. The girls in the next scene are doing their daily routine at Levin Ped till closing early. Aisha told the girls that the guys wanted to meet them at the outskirts of Gardenia and to bring Roxy, so the girls changed and headed to the Fruity Music Bar to go get her. They arrived at the bar where they saw Roxy getting into an argument with Mitzy, Stacy, and Brooke, who were constantly taunting her and bragging about how much of a loser and a freak she is. Roxy, getting visibly upset, tries breathing techniques that her father taught her, but that swiftly went out the window when Mitzy said something that really hit a nerve, resulting in Roxy getting angrier and nearly swinging towards Mitzy's face, only to be stopped by Annabelle before getting the chance to do what it already caused a scene. This did shake Mitzy and her friends a bit, and Klaus came in and began to scold Roxy for her actions, but the Winx ran towards her, coming to her defense. Mitzy complains about how unstable and an animal Roxy is and wanted her fired, only for Bloom to clap back and go off on Mitzy, similar to what she did to Riven in Season 1 in the 4Kids dub, saying how utterly pathetic she is, and she hasn't changed at all since high school, and constantly putting others down to feel good about herself, because underneath it all, she's hollow and empty and she needs to grow up. This got people giggling, making Mitzy feel embarrassed and angry. resulting her, Stacy, and Brooke to step up to Bloom, only for Aisha and Stella to step in. Mitzy and her friends finally left the premises. Roxy apologized to her father for what occurred, and Klaus turned to Roxy and apologized for yelling, but reminded her that she can't afford getting into more fighting and that she must control her temper, and cut himself off before saying something else, and went to thank Annabelle and soon the Winx for coming into his daughter's defense. Flora asked Klaus if Roxy could come with them to hang out for a bit for a girls' day out, and they'll make sure that she will be safe. Klaus allowed her to go out with them, taking a break from the mess that occurred. Then all 7 of the girls left the bar. Began walking, Roxy thanked the girls for what they did back there. Aside from Annabelle, no one really stood up for her the way that they did. To which Mitzy responds saying that that's what friends do for each other, which made Roxy stop a bit, but then brought a little smile to her face. Aisha added that she was surprised at how Roxy reacted towards Mitzy. She admits that Roxy would have given Mitzy a run for her money with that swing, and would have loved to see it. And thought Bloom had a temper. This does make Roxy embarrassed a bit, but she laughs along with the girls. Roxy admitted that she hated to go that far, but expressed her resentment towards Mitzy ever since she bullied her back in school, when she was a freshman and Mitzy a senior at the time. Bloom empathized and expressed how she dealt with the same issues with her since pre-K before attending Althea. Flora even mentioned how horrible she was towards them at her Halloween party when they visited Earth and pulled a sick prank on them for her amusement. Mitzy followed up saying that the girl has some serious issues and needed therapy. Scene shows the girls arriving at the outskirts of Gardenia, where they see the guys near a lake where they can't be seen by humans thanks to Nabu's illusion magic. Flora asks what was this about as she saw equipment around them, to which Nabu explained that he and Aisha came up with the idea the girls would train in physical combat a lot more since their magic is currently weak against the wizards. Brandon chimed in saying that it will be great and beneficial for the girls to learn self-defense and non-magical strategies that they learned in Red Fountain, along with Nabu learning to mix his physical combat with his magic, and Aisha with her agility. Aisha also wanted Roxy to join and teach them a few moves as well, stating that she means business and the girls could learn a thing or two from her as she's learning magic, to which Roxy stated that, yeah, that seems pretty fair, and agrees to join in. Sky to me added that it's also a great way for them to spend some form of quality time together since they haven't done much ever since they've landed on Earth. The girls were excited about this, while Tedna and Stella weren't too fond, but they know that because of the circumstances that they really can't complain as much. But before they began training, Stella says that they need her field of expertise and use her magic to create the new outfits for the girls like the one from Magical Adventure, except for Roxy. Bloom whispered into Stella's ear to be nice, which caused Stella to groan a bit and use her magic to give Roxy her own outfit. And we also see the guys sporting their new armor that Saladin and Hagen gave them. The training montage remained the same as it did in Magical Adventure, with the girls aside from Aisha and Roxy, who weren't doing so well, were feeling down and felt frustrated. Sky and the others praised Aisha once again for her athleticism and agility, and were really impressed with Roxy's comeback skills, saying that how Klaus really trained her well, to which both giggled. Helia went to the girls telling them to cheer up, and congratulated them on their first day of training. Flora Musa said that they did terribly and barely did anything. Roxy went over to them stating that they can't expect to master something they're not familiar with within a day, and tell them that they'll progress and get better at it. She reminds them that she is struggling with magic, but they always encouraged her that she'll get better. So, in a way, they're all helping each other out to achieve greatness. This did get the girls to rethink and smile a bit. Tekna commented that Roxy does have a point. Everything is so new to all of them to adjust, but by helping each other out and working together, they can accomplish anything. This resulted all 6 of the girls to hug a bit for them, except Aisha, to groan in pain from their sore bodies, which led Flora saying, well, there's the old saying, no pain, no gain, which made the other girls and the guys laugh in the end. Went home, relaxed, and talked about their accomplishment as they did in the original. Bloom specifically states how Roxy somewhat reminds her of her when she started her journey as a fairy. Back in Roxy's home, We see her in her room speaking to R2 in the past about her accomplishments with the Winx and Specialists thus far. And she's still not sure about all of this because she's scared that everything she knew will change forever. But remembers the mysterious voice that always helped guide her whenever she needed her and fell asleep. We then hear the mysterious voice telling Roxy to trust and believe in herself and that she's waiting